Well, hello there and welcome to Overcome Yourself. As you know, my name is Nicole and I'm here today with Liz. And Liz is a life coach. You are a transformation coach, I believe is what I read in your email. Don't let me butcher it. I want you to tell us all about you, Liz, and how you help your clients. And I can't wait to hear the story of how you got to what you're doing today.
Oh, thank you. Yes. So my name is Liz Pessaran, and I am a licensed marriage and family therapist, as well as a life coach, a business mentor. I really help people transform their lives. I did say that. And I really focus around life purpose and finding meaning in your day to day and your journey through life, and feel like you can let go of what you feel like you should do and instead replace it with what you feel called to do.
I love it. So how did that get started? How did you figure out that this was what you wanted to do? How did you get
Oh man, that
no, go, go.
how did I go from nothing to something or no? Um,
Yeah.
yes. So I've always kind of shared this in all my interviews, and I like to say that I'm no one special. I was very much so just an average American girl. I was never great at any one thing, whether it was athletics or whether it was school or social. Like I was just a typical kid and a typical young adult as well. And I really felt like there was nothing that I could do that was going to be great. However, I let that define me instead of it actually being my superpower. So I think that a lot of people think just because they're average, they don't have anything unique or special. And I really fight against that, that you do have something unique and special. And being average is relatable. And that is a powerhouse. That is so helpful in life. But I was just an average girl. I did all the things that I was told to do. I followed the map society had structured. I went to college. I got the dream job. I had the insurance. And I woke up one day absolutely miserable. And I suddenly realized, oh my gosh, what have I done? I don't want any of this. I was told I was supposed to want this, but I don't actually want any of it. And so that was kind of rock bottom. And I'm very much so summarizing this story. But at that point, I realized I had to make a change and I needed to take the time to figure out what I felt truly aligned with, what I felt called to do, and what I really wanted in this life. And that was my journey of self-healing, self-discovery. I hired my own therapist, I hired my own life coach, and I just did a lot of soul searching. And through that time, kind of, I uncovered I really wanted to be a therapist and I really wanted to be a life coach. And I wanted to help others find their own unique magic and gifts and live a life that is on their terms and not on someone else's. So, yeah.
I love that so much. Hold on, that's my dog. He is growling at something, so I apologize for that.
It's good.
I love how you talked about being average, but like there's like a superpower in that too, right?
There
And I
is.
love that. One of the things that I talk about in my book is looking at what you thought was your weakness your whole life, what everybody told you was your weakness, and adjusting your perspective on that and being like, is this my superpower? And I'm just underestimating it. um, and so I think that's really cool because that's not an aspect that I've ever thought of, is how you can use your averageness, how you feel just kind of like meh, and use it to your advantage. That is amazing. I love that. So I'm looking at my notes over what you sent me. And you say that you love to talk about ditching your day job and starting your business. You want to talk a little bit
Yes.
more about that because I love that idea. I'm not a job fan. Like for me, that's not my vibe. So tell me about that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, so I did work in the corporate America. So I've done the 9 to 5s. I worked in public education. I've worked in nonprofits. Like I've done the grind, and where you are overworked and underpaid, but for some reason it's looked at like with admiration. Wow, she's
Badge of
got
honor.
the a badge of honor. Thank you. I was trying to think of the word. Yes. So it's like you're exhausting all of yourself, your mental, physical, emotional health. your work-life balance is non-existent. There's no such thing. Your relationships are probably struggling, and you are carrying, whether it's extra physical weight because you're so stressed, your hormones are off balance, you're sick often, you struggle with headaches, like you're having adverse effects, but yet you're continually praised for doing all of that. You're continually praised, and it is so confusing. Because I remember getting all of that admiration. Wow, you're doing such good work. You're amazing. And yeah, that's important work to be done. But I firmly believe the system in which it's structured isn't in the best of service of anyone because it's unbalanced. So when I was in that space, it was so confusing. And I really recognized that this isn't something that's sustainable. And I need to get out of here. I need to ditch this day job. Like I need to leave and I need to find something better. And as I worked through creating my own business and finding balance that I do believe is possible, it is life changing. It is totally life changing that you can let go of this structure that you think you're supposed to love, but you don't. And you can actually love what you do. You can enjoy waking up. You can have a good, healthy lifestyle and habits and all the things and still make a good, decent income.
Yeah.
And so I learned a lot on the process throughout my journey. And I recognized that so many people don't know certain things of how to go about it. You know, you want out, but you don't know how. Where are the details? So that's kind of where I step in. So as a coach, I help people. I actually have a program called Ditch Your Day Job. And I help people get crystal clear on where are you going? So what's our destination? What do we want out of this, out of ditching our day job? We don't want to just say, I quit and then have nothing, right? That's really stressful. So we want to have a little bit more of an agenda. It doesn't have to go according to plan, but it can go roughly in the same line as our plan. And so we create that, and I walk people through, okay, what are we going towards? How do we want to get there? How much money do we need to make so it's sustainable for us? And we can quit with confidence, and we're not quitting with anxiety and worry and stress, because that's going to come, but you can control how much anxiety you bring in. If you can control your income and make sure you're having consistent paychecks from your outside job that you can transition into, it'll make it a lot smoother and less stressful for you in that process. So ditching your day job is my passion. I think we have all been called to do better, greater work. And when we are really aligned with our work and when we have balance in our life, then we make a greater impact. So that is how I think there's power in ditching your day job. And I will say, like with an asterisk, your dream could be still in corporate America, and it still could be a standard 9-to-5 job, and you can love it and you can thrive in it. But maybe the one you're currently in isn't the one that's meant for you or that is aligning with you. So if that's the case, it's not so much like ditching your day job forever, but it's ditching the day job that's not working for you right now. So it can shift, but I think that I rambled, but that's what I do.
It's all
And yeah, and that's what I'm super passionate about and helping people kind of discover.
That's awesome. And one thing that popped into my head when we were talking is you talk to your clients about owning their benefits, right? Because that's one of the scariest parts of leaving your job is like, what's going to happen to my benefits? And that's one of my favorite things is now I get to own my own benefits. So I have all the stuff that someone in a 9-to-5 has, but I just pay for it myself. And so I own it. And it's really cool because then you could put your own benefits. Like one of my benefits is going to the chiropractor. I have like this program where I go every month, right?
Yeah, you can customize it.
Exactly. And it's so cool. And like I own them. So like, like nobody can like kick me off. Like it's mine.
Right.
As long as I pay it, it's mine. So that is awesome. I think it's incredible that you help people, and you definitely have to have a plan. Because just jumping out, into a black hole, like I talk about this as far as habits. When you're trying to replace a small habit, you can't just eliminate a habit, right? You have to replace it with something, or you're going to leave like this black hole of nothingness. And then what's going to happen is something's got to fill that space, right? So before we can make before we could just say, I'm eliminating this, no, 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 let's put something else there so that there's not, just a gap, because your mind wants to fill that gap, right? So I think it's awesome that not only you teach people how to do that, but you help them put that plan into place. So it's not like this scary, concept. It's like your Google Maps. Like, this is where you are. This is where you want to be. This is how you get there. Right?
Hmm.
I
Yes,
love
yes,
it.
absolutely. And you ultimately save time. You like I'm a believer, like that's the one resource we can never get back is time. And so if we can learn how to gain more time for ourselves and what we want to do, then that's like the best hack of life ever. So if you can hire a coach and you can have a map, you can save yourself years of time trying to figure it out on your own and getting lost along the way and confused and spending tons of money and having to go back to your day job to just start over again. Like, let's avoid that. Let's
Absolutely.
save time and give you your power.
I love it. Now, as you were getting to being this amazing coach and helping your clients, did you find that there was a time where you had to overcome yourself to really become successful? Like, tell us a little
Yeah.
bit.
I think there were many times along the way, small things I had to overcome and larger things. I think when I finally said yes to my business and I said, this is where I'm going and this is what I want to do, I had immense imposter syndrome, self doubt, insecurity. I grew up in a family that very much so praised having a 9 to 5 secure job. Both of my parents were highly educated and had great careers, but they are careers that are, you know, um, but my dad works for himself, so I'm not really sure why I got that idea. Now that I think about that, I just think he promoted that, like make sure you have security, make sure you have benefits, make sure you're taken care of, and don't risk yourself. Like the risk was very low working for a corporation. And so I very much so thought, just like you were sharing about owning your benefits, I was terrified to do that. I don't know how to do that. And I didn't go to school for business. I know nothing about business. Um, I know about mental health. I know about people. I know about relationships. I know that stuff. I don't know how to make sure I'm hitting certain numbers financially or investing in the right thing for myself and my future. And so I was very worried that I would make foolish, innocent mistakes that would be very impactful in my future in a negative way. So I was kind of paralyzed by it. And so until I was able to really work through my fear, work through my self doubt, I wasn't going anywhere. It took me that work to overcome myself, overcome my doubts, lean into that discomfort, and also having the faith within me that I can figure it out. And I always talk about self trust and how absolutely vital that is for anybody in any stage of life, but especially when you're trying to build a business, is you have to trust that you are doing the best you can for what you have and that you are going to be okay. That you can make mistakes and you will still be okay. So if you change that mindset, you're more willing to maybe take a little risk. You're more willing to believe in yourself. And if you have that belief, then you're going to do greater things and you're going to ultimately make it happen sooner for yourself. So that was probably the biggest thing I needed to overcome, was just my own fear and doubt around my business.
Yes. And you know what? By the way, the reason that I know which ones of my own benefits to own is because I have a coach for that. So she taught me,
Yes.
right? So I didn't just go like pick something out. I do have a financial coach that helps me and teaches me those things. And like that's so important. Like that's what you do, and that's kind of what I do too, just in a different aspect, right? I coach people with the SEO, So it's a little bit different, but having a coach in different areas of your life, right? Like having your doctor, that's like your health coach, right? And then,
Mhm. Yeah.
when you're with your kids, like if you've got kids, talking to your teacher, that you're there, that's your kids coach, right? And so there's so many different coaches. And so we have to be really intentional about the coaches that we bring into our lives. That's why it's so important to have someone like you, Liz, um, to guide us and to help us, because you've taken those steps and you've overcome yourself and you've come up to um those obstacles, right? And realize that they probably weren't as scary as you had made them out to be. Because
Mhm.
that's what I found in
Totally.
my life. And then just helping people walk through. So I absolutely love that. um Let me check my notes here. Okay, so tell me about your website. I see you've got uh, you sent me several things. So tell me about your
Mhm.
website and the services you've got available. How can we get in touch with you?
Yes. So there's many ways to work with me, which is awesome. I try and make it
Love it.
diverse for folks. So like I said, I really help people ditch their day job. So I have a group program called Ditch Your Day Job. This program is really geared towards people that already know where they're headed in general. So they say, I am already a business owner, or I know exactly what kind of business I want to get to. So that is clear and already figured out. Now we're just helping you get there. So that's Ditch Your Day Job. And it's a 6-month program. It's very intimate. I never have more than 10 or 12 people in there. So you get a ton of support and it's incredible. You leave knowing how to make 6 figures ultimately in your business. And we put in our 2 weeks notice for sure, which
Love
feels
it.
so good. But then I also have the option to do figuring out your purpose. So you can work one-on-one with me. I take one-on-one coaching or coaching clients, and I also do therapy. So if you're in the state of Tennessee or California, I can do therapy with you. If you
Cool.
want, yeah, which is really cool. And then if you're wanting just more one-on-one coaching, I offer that. And then if you're trying to really figure out your purpose, what are you here to do? You know, you're unhappy, but you're not really sure the what is next. I have a group program called Life on Purpose as well. And that journey is 3 months, and we help uncover what you are meant to do in this world. So I have a ton of offers. You can all check them out on lizpessaran.com. I'm on Instagram at Liz Pessaran and Facebook at Liz Pessaran Life Coaching.
Love it. Yeah, perfect. We've covered everything from the notes. Yay. Okay,
Yay.
so is there any, I love it. I love that you have those three programs. And it's kind of like no matter what stage you're in, right?
Mhm.
We can walk through. So you can start with one and you can all the way, to discovering your life purpose, all the way to handing in that 2 weeks notice. I love it.
Yeah.
That is a
Yeah.
heck of a roadmap. Okay, so do you have any last minute thoughts or notes that you'd like to share? Any nuggets of wisdom with the
Oh, yeah. I would say that if you are on the journey of owning your own business, believing that it's actually not that big of a deal. So that was one piece of advice my coach gave me is I made such a big deal out of this. I made such a big deal out of becoming an entrepreneur. And she said, Liz, people have been doing this for hundreds and hundreds of years. It's not that big of a deal. And if you put it into perspective, you have what it takes and you can learn the things you don't know. With mentorship and support, there are people ready and wanting to help and support you. It doesn't have to be such a big deal that you're going to fail, because you won't, because you'll learn something from it no matter what. So believe in yourself, believe that it's possible. Don't make such a big deal out of it, and you're going to crush your dreams.
Oh, I love that. And that's something we've got to get used to, right? Is when we're, especially when we're leaving corporate America, is that failure is not a bad thing here. In this arena, failure is good. Failure is
Yeah.
teaching you, this doesn't work, or this is the lesson, or whatever. And I love that. I absolutely
Yeah.
love so getting comfortable with that. And it's so cool that you're actually licensed to provide, actual therapy, because there's so many coaches out there who are not.
I know. I know.
um,
That's why I always let folks know.
Yeah, so
I
I
think it's
think it's
important.
great that you've been able to like meld those two things together. So thank you so much for being a guest on the Overcome Yourself podcast today with us, Liz. It has been absolutely wonderful. All of her links are going to be available in the show notes, so you guys can get in touch with her. And okay, and if you guys need us anything else, find us. You guys know to find us on Facebook or Instagram. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of the day, and we'll talk soon.